and mostly women feeling like most men are like assholes and this and that, because they're thinking of like the one asshole that is like destroying the lives of like 5 women in a row.
Yes.
They're not thinking of all the guys who are husbands, who go to work, listen to all your stories, and just come home and are not fucking around. Like, most guys are not going around fucking around because it's really hard.
Like I said, 90% of dudes are not doing that. But girls don't notice those 90% of good, nice guys at all. They don't notice them at all. That's why all those guys are virgins. If they did, they wouldn't be virgins, right? So that's the stats. It's like, why are these girls looking at these toxic assholes and picturing that all guys are like this? It's because that's what they're actually attracted to at first, is they're attracted to these traits that these guys have. These super manipulative and controlling guys, they're actually attracted to it because it comes off as dominance. Yeah. And then it turns into, oh my God, this guy's actually controlling, this guy's actually abusive, but it's too late then. It's already been 2-3 months till a girl gets rid of those feelings and just realizes, oh shit, this guy's actually toxic, this guy's actually really bad. But she doesn't realize it until it's too late.
Yeah.
So these guys come off and it's perceived as dominance. These guys are perceived as high value at first because they come off super dominant, super direct. And that's part of, you know, controlling. And the girls don't realize it until it's too late. And that's why the girls, they perceive being in those relationships with those guys, because sadly, that's what they're attracted to, like those traits that he had. Then she started to realize, okay, those traits were because he's actually just controlling asshole. He's not actually just dominant and loving. And he's not any of those other things, right? And so they get confused. And then I think now they think that, oh, this is what all guys are like, but that's all they're attracted to. That's all they've been dating. That's all they see is like all these guys. Like when you ask girls, I think the aim is said on the Red Pill podcast is like, how many guys do you think have boats? And like all the girls are like, oh, 10, 20%. It's like, no, dude, less than fucking 0.5% of people have a fucking boat. But that's all they see. They only see guys with all these, you know, cars, the rappers, the guys who go out and cheat. That's all they see because that's kind of what they're only attracted to at first, or the qualities at least. Not the guy himself, it's just the qualities that get them attracted. You know, it's like peacocking. It's like, if the pickup guys, they wear certain clothes or glasses or very, very flashy things to get the girl's attention, and that's just part of peacocking for pickup. But you know, the same thing applies there as well.
Yeah. Have you seen a huge difference between like city girls and like smaller town women?
Yeah.
And guys too. Like, are the dynamics really different? Because I've been here in LA for about 3 years now, and this is pretty much all I know in that scene. Because when I didn't live in LA, I was married, so I was not dating, I was not into any of that. I wonder if you have seen a difference with like the guys that you talk to. Does it really matter?
I think in other areas, like very low population cities, everything's much better. Like, dude, everything's better in like lower population areas. Like, it's all the shit gets very when shit gets condensed, when shit gets very like, you know, very condensed. There's a lot of people. A bunch of shit goes wrong, like, and there's a bunch of shit that just, you know, like fucking, so much bad shit goes on when there's more people, and there's definitely a reason why, because we're not, as humans, we're not meant to be pushed into very closed off environments, very close cities. We're supposed to be meant to be free, explore. And when you push people in very condensed areas, they start doing weird shit. You read about this on, it's called, like, it's zoology, and it shows like animals, they're completely normal when they're in their natural environment. I mean, when you put them together in very high dense populations, they start doing weird things. They start adapting weird traits, like eating their poop, you know, trying to fuck the same gender, you know, even though for animals, like, they can't repopulate. That's what you notice about these super high population areas, like a lot more gay people, which just is what it is. A lot more weird shit, a lot of homeless people, a lot of people on crack. All these things start to rise. And there's a reason why. It's because it's not natural for us to be fucking super close together. And it does something to our psychology where it messes us up. So that's something that's very interesting. If you read that book, Stephen Arnio talks about the book Hard Times Create Strong Men. And that's what you'll notice about as well, is they want you to actually be in very high population areas. They're trying to push people in the very high population areas because you can control people much easier.
So when you say they're trying to do this, who do you think is doing that?
Definitely the elites, definitely the people of higher power, like definitely the people who are in control. They definitely want you to be in higher areas, higher, denser areas, harder for you to leave. It keeps you trapped, it keeps you contained, right? And that's the thing, is like, they don't want you self-reliant. If you're in the very dense area, do you have a farm? Do you have land that you could, you know, make food from? No, you don't. You have to rely on stores and shit. They make you reliant on them, on their system.
I think that's just a byproduct of us coming together to build bigger things. I don't think it's like people saying, okay, we're gonna corner them and we're gonna do this and that, because cities have been around for millennia, so forever, and it's just I understand everything that you're saying, and I see that point, but I think we just come together because we're trying to build things, and we are also stronger together. We wouldn't be in this freaking tall building if we were in the middle of Idaho in a farm.
And that's another thing, is it's kind of funny, like that, like it's, people think that we're much smarter just because we're building all these new things, because we have iPhones and all this technology now. But it's like, bro, if we were to go in caveman days, we would not survive. And if caveman, and if cavemen were to come here, they would get fucked. So it just depends, like, on the area that you're in. I think people will get confused and think that, okay, we're much smarter. But it's like, if you put the average LA person in caveman days, no phone, no technology, no knives, they would just die.
Yeah, they're screwed. But also this idea that, oh, we were better off back then in the old times, and like societies turned to shit and all of this, which I'm interested to know your perspective, because to me, coming from another country, coming to America, I think this is the greatest fucking country in the world. Like, this country is amazing. Yet, I saw people in college and then throughout my career who don't see that. So that scares me. Like, I don't like that. Like, when people start talking bad about America, like, Americans, bro, like, I went across borders, I came here, like, my brother went through, like, so much shit to get into this country, so we really appreciate it. Yeah. And I'm afraid that people are turning into see everything, and part of it also the whole dating thing and relationships, and I'm very afraid that young guys are being pushed this message that America is like so terrible, and even with women, all American women are terrible, and the only way that you can find a good woman is like if you go to Russia or Eastern Europe or some kind of weird messed up country and save a girl and bring her to America. What do you think about that? It's
actually interesting, because it's like, yeah, we're being pushed that, okay, yeah, it's better in other countries. That's one thing I started noticing as well, is like, even Tate even talks about all the time, other countries are way better than America. America's super corrupt, but everywhere's super corrupt as well. You know, it's like, but yeah, I think for here, I mean, I've only been mostly in the US, so I have no idea. But what I've seen so far is, yeah, a lot of young guys are being pushed to just kind of realize that, okay, yeah, these things are not all that amazing, like how it's hyped up, you know. And so it's like, it's interesting, because I don't really know, because I haven't been traveling, but yeah, I mean, for guys, they're just being told, oh yeah, all the girls here are bad, they're all 304s, you know, the society, the culture's bad. But I think it's like just honestly who you surround yourself with. But there could be obviously a much bigger agenda to why people, or why this message is growing so large. And I think there's always a reason for everything. Nothing's on accident. So the reason why so many guys are being pushed to leave this country or to hate this country is definitely not no accident, right? So that's something that a lot of people need to think about. Is, okay, why are people thinking this way? Who's presenting this information? And why are they presenting this information? And that's where you're going to see the truth. So maybe so many guys are being presented this message is because we're not unified. We're not strong as one, right? When you get rid of the patriotic Team America mindset, you start to get guys who are from different places, and that's how they align. Oh no, I'm from Romania, so I can't talk to American. Oh no, I'm from this place, I can't talk to you. You know, you're from America, you love America, right? So it's like, I think they're just trying to divide us even more. That could be one of the ways they're trying to divide us. And it seems like it's working, right? So you see a lot of guys being divided by the country that they're in and things like that. So it's very interesting, and they're always trying to divide us by our skin color, you know, our genders. Like the whole red pill thing is it's all about just separating men and making men against women, when it should be men and women together. And I think men and women need to realize that women have feminism that they need to fucking fight against, and we have all these other ideologies that we need to fight against as men as well, that are stopping us to realize that it should be men and women together versus everything else.